So the BAFTA Awards, it's not the BAFTA Awards, it's the BAFTAs, the British Academy of Film and Television Award Show. It went on, was it last weekend, right? And it was very white. They were not very happy with the fact that it was both white and extremely cringy in regards to the intro segment. And both of these are hilarious. We'll play the clip if we can of the horrible intro where this girl just, I feel so bad for her.
I feel like you guys need to see it to understand how horrific it was.
It really
for the
is.
people watching it face to face.
You know what? Let's.
It was really bad. It was secondhand embarrassment to the max.
Let's just play it, right?
All
so
right.
let's. Okay. I am gonna give you a cringe warning.
Major cringe warning.
Very much so. So just be careful.
Just everyone's reaction.
Let's turn the volume up for maximum cringe.
Ladies in the room, supporting and leading, all here I presume. Hong Chow, Dolly D, Carrie and Carrie with the C. Dame Emma, I'm so fond. Anna girl, you were great and blonde. Danielle D, you broke my heart. Michelle, I've loved you from the start. Angela Bassett did the thing. Viola Davis, my woman king. Blanche Kate, you're a genius. And Jamie Lee, you are all of us.
So she did a feminist rap in which she talked about all of the female rap or the female award nominees for various categories. Now, here's what I want to say. I have a lot of respect.
Viola Davis, my woman king.
Look, there is a certain amount of like gall that one has to have to be in Hollywood to know that you're about to perform something
not
that
even
cringy,
questioning it.
and there isn't an ounce of regret. There isn't an ounce of
can't
doubt
see any
in her
hesitation.
face. She
everyone-
just goes for it.
That's because
dude.
everyone around her was like, "Oh my gosh, this is so great!
This is gonna be
is
No, they
amazing.
weren't
level."
in that
Who
video.
choreographed this? Who
Yeah,
wrote
everyone
this?
who
like,
greenlit this was like, "Girl, it's amazing. You should definitely do this. It'll be a #1 selling album. You're gonna break the internet with your feminist rap." And it's bad. She sounds super like out of breath. The dancing is weird. Like all of it is not good.
but it's just no hesitation
And
whatsoever.
She deleted her Twitter because of the backlash.
I almost feel bad for her.
I do feel bad
I
for her.
really
Like,
do,
like
'cause
imagine you sign up for this, right? And then they give you this
she's
idea.
like contractually obligated
Here's
to
the
do
other thing.
this.
We've kind of adjusted this this topic around a little bit. This one's a little bit more fun. So the producer claimed that Ariana DeBose's performance brought the energy the award show has been looking for. Well, he's the producer. He's got it covered.
Is
What
that the
energy is
energy
that?
they were looking for?
Like
a very
everyone
uncomfortable,
Wheezing and
awkward energy.
Also, did you see they panned to like these women's faces and they were like, "Oh,
Well,
cool."
the thing is, they panned to them a whole like second before she says their name, and they barely have any time to react. So it looks like they're just stone cold and like,
Yeah.
what? Like Ana de Armas got her shout out a whole second and a half after they panned to her face.
This is why people
so they can
hate.
get their reaction, I
Like-
guess. But like the reactions are awkward.
Yeah.
And people are like, why would you hate feminism in Hollywood? Like, why would
If
you
this
hate
is feminism,
it's pandering feminism. It absolutely is. There is no guy's version of this where Chris Pratt gets on stage, or like who would be a guy where Billy Porter gets on stage, or somebody and talks about and extols the virtues.
Maybe Billy Porter.
But they would never do that. Where they
okay,
extol the
extolling
virtues,
the virtues of the
male.
gay community, not
It's pandering
men.
for sure, but in some ways I think it's institutional or corporate feminism, right? They're like, you know what'll sell this? You know what will help the energy of our award show if we inject a weird feminist thing into it? Like they think that this is something that will better market their product, which is this award show.
To
right?
who?
The ultimate goal is to get people watching this show, and now people are watching it to like watch a train
Maybe they
wreck.
knew it would be cringy in a train wreck.
In that case, I feel
They're
like
just trying to ritualistically humiliate.
Did they
her.
like tell her beforehand? They're like, look, we're gonna
gonna be
prep
bad.
you early.
What if it
It's
was her
gonna be
idea?
horrible.
What if it was her idea? What if she was like, I'll do something
She's
for the
like
show, but it has to be a feminist rap. And they're
the
like,
best
"But please-"
performance artist of our generation.
Actually, that's way cooler
Like a
if she just
satirical
wanted to do
comedian.
this.
This is like, she's like, this is my big moment. This is the stance I want to take. And they're like, but maybe reconsider. Are you sure a rap? And she was like, yes, I'm
It's an
100%
interesting
sure.
career move.
It's
for
cooler
sure.
if she actually like she's like, look, it came to me in a dream.
I'm gonna satirize feminism in the worst way possible.
It's actually cooler if she wrote like this came to her in a dream because she just loved all of these actresses and like the actresses are doing this.
Someone said it felt like she was hyping up a middle school dance.
Look, here's the thing. We talk about, look, Hollywood is paid to be good at pretending something, and even the best actors in the world that they showed reacting to this couldn't
couldn't even feign excitement.
Which kind of proves that maybe Ariana DeBose is the best actress in Hollywood.
Because she was just like
she was
in
into
it to win it. Like there was zero hesitation. I applaud her for
I got
it.
respect for the fact that she was.
Must have known.
Look, there are days when we do this show where I very clearly can't fake it. This lady, and I don't consider our material cringy. I like what we do, and if I have days where I'm struggling, imagine to be given that material.
Oh yeah, she's really raising the bar for us all and doing it flawlessly.
I just feel like you have to be confident and delete your Twitter if anyone questions you. Like that's
okay. That's
right. Deleting her Twitter was a mistake.
I don't know. I mean, check out.
She should lean into it. She should lean into it.
But also, how could you
she should
not expect that this would be the reaction, right? Like it wasn't. It's not even to me like that. It's feminist, right? I'm not a big fan of that generally, but it's also like not good. It doesn't sound good. I would not listen to this. It's not. There's no beauty in the dancing. Like
it's not even
it sounds
a rhyme
awkward. There's not a rhyme. She sounds out of breath. Like it's not good.
She could have been shouting out men in the audience as well, and it's just a celebration of everyone there, and I would still be cringing.
Like, what if she doesn't like one of the women, and she had to be like, "You're in it too," because women are.
Angela
she
Bassett
hates Michelle Yeoh.
No, she said Angela Bassett did a thing or something.
Maybe that's who she doesn't like.
Really?
She said
like actually throwing shade at Wakanda Forever.
See, that's what I want to know. Like, who was she like? Because realistically, she doesn't like all of these people or know them at all, and so there has to be a couple there that she was like.
Yeah, but they don't need to know.
She couldn't say like, "Hey, we're not getting along professionally, and I don't want to mention her." Like, she has to mention everyone.
Like
Seems
it's like
the worst.
Like go through the list again and see who the hell got left out, and be like, what is her problem with this person? Do a deep dive into their history.
I just think this is such a terrible. Also, like, what? That for the whoever is producing this being like, she brought the energy we needed. What energy is that? Terrible?
Cringy.
And then they still got roasted on social media because hashtag BAFTA's so white. This is
the whitest photo I've seen in Hollywood in like 50 years.
There's like this group photo of the 49 winners, and I haven't seen a group photo this white in years from Hollywood.
That made me
It's actually crazy.
Like, that gave me respect for the BAFTAs. Like, maybe they didn't look at color to make awards, and they just gave people who were good. You know what I mean? Like, and because it doesn't have the statistically perfect PR ratio of like people of color versus white people.
Here's the thing.
It's just a sea of mayo monkeys.
Here's the thing.
It makes me think that it was like more authentically judged. Like, what if
that's exactly right.
And like, I hate to say that because obviously I don't want people who are of color to feel like they aren't getting a fair shot, but also like it seems weirder to me when it's like, oh, crazily enough, even though it doesn't reflect this in the nominee category, the majority of winners fit our ideological understanding. You know what I mean? Like, that makes it seem like it's a corrupt institution. And to have integrity for an award show, you'd have to think that like maybe
40% of the nominees were minority, and not one of them won. And it's scary to think, but it's like the balls on this organization to do that, or are they just less ideologically inclined? They just look past it.
But they haven't in other years. Like, that's the thing about the BAFTAs. Like, they aren't against wokeness or whatever. Like,
no,
they talk about
had
this all the time.
the 2021 and 2020. That's what they said. They basically went through a reformation that added 1,000 different members to the academy that were of color. And so even with all of the members, if anything, that should steel man the argument that these were the best winners, because they added tons of like, this is what they want, right? They love diverse voices and color, right? They don't just want diverse skin color. They want diverse voices, right?
It just seems crazy to me that like, I mean, is it possible that they were like, we tried for several years to keep up with what culture expects of us in terms of diversity, equity, and inclusion, and it didn't work. So now we're just going to stop caring and we're going to do whatever we're doing.
It's also funny because just injecting the discussion point in there about what they need to look like automatically sows division and doubt into every nomination and kind of proves the malleability and the manipulative nature of subjective victory, meaning like this isn't something where you win by scoring the most points. It's a subjective competition, which means it's always going to have a snub, and that snub will always be for some lowbrow, quality that they're going to claim, whether it's racism or sexism or this or that.
Talking about snubs is presumptuous, in my opinion, in the first place. Like, nobody even like thought about you in the process, and you're going to call it a snub. I think it's just the absolute worst type of person complaining about this, aka the consultant class.
Well, that's
so one person
Marcus
literally
Ryder.
called a diversity consultant for BAFTA, told the BBC that he was very disappointed with this result. He said, despite a massive overhaul on which I and many other industry people were consulted, and which resulted in 120 changes to the BAFTA award processes. I would love to see the list of changes. 1,000 new members from underrepresented groups. The end result is there is no substantial change. So what you're saying is when they added people of color to their voting committee, they still voted for white people to win the awards. Well, sounds like you have more of a problem with the voters.
Yeah. Also, like, you're telling me that you changed it to be more inclusive and it got whiter as a result of your efforts. Like,
yeah, maybe that's your job to fix it.
By injecting diversity,
you were
philosophy,
the consultant.
You were the one who made it.
It proves that
weird.
It proves that the victory is what they always cared about, not the process.
This is funny. A senior character developer at Naughty Dog Studios, who is also a BAFTA member, once again, like worst type of people ever, said, these are the winners of the 2023 BAFTAs. The black woman is a presenter. Not even Oscar or Golden Globes winners Michelle Yeoh, Angela Bassett, Viola Davis, or Kate Hui Kwan could break through. All judging systems have biases, but this is broken. I'm not proud to be a BAFTA member today.
Also, I want to ask, like, I'm sick of the idea of underrepresented. If, like I said, I use this example all the time. If you watch A-Team or anything from the 80s, if there's 4 characters, there's at least one African-American character in every single one of these shows. And given that they make up 13% of the population, that's 25% of that cast, they're overrepresented.
Well, it sounds like if you brought in 1,000 new BAFTA members who were minorities and they still vote for 49 white people to win.
Doesn't that prove that those people are better than you? Those voters are better than the people.
They're either colorblind in a true sense, or you're just bad at consulting.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or it proves that the people that they brought in to vote,
your project is pointless.
The people that they brought in to vote are more pure of heart than the people who brought in the voters. The people who brought in the voters brought them in under political means,
with
wanting them to go, that they go a certain way.
Yeah.
And the people that actually did the voting did their job, and they don't like it.
I think it assigns this weird mentality that they brought in people of color or minority voters with the expectation that they would exclusively vote for minority members.
Yeah, well, it's like
that
it's
seems
all
like
a
it's
mob.
so bigoted, right? That like they could only.
It's literally like Biden saying, like, if you don't vote Democrat, you ain't black. It's literally that.
It's very bizarre. I also think that award shows have the power that you give them. We know ratings are down everywhere for all award shows. If they wanted to represent or to like specifically award different like women or like a certain minority group, make a new award show. It's clearly not working.
They have
this
that.
one.
They have GLAAD. They have the NAACP. They have all of these award shows
when
that
you're
have
a casting agent who's like, I need to get someone who's award winning but fits this racial profile for whatever reason, I'll turn to this award show and look to see who they are recommending as their up and coming talent, right? Like the fact that you are trying to convert the BAFTAs and it's not working. In fact, you somehow are making the problem that you're against worse. Should tell you that like this is not a system worth preserving if you really hate it that much.
I think it's a very anti-white sentiment, honestly, that diminishes the difference between, say, an Australian person and an Irish person as not being diverse.
That's their goal.
Like, is there not a difference between people who come from different parts of the globe just because they are both white? That is what they're saying. But there's more. They're saying there's more of a difference between someone from China and someone from Ghana than there is between someone from Australia and someone from Ireland, because the people from Australia and Ireland look too genetically similar.
But live different
You're literally
lives.
a eugenicist for saying that.
I think they do this across all lines, though, right? Like someone who is of Haitian descent in America we still call an African American even though they're from Haiti. Like that's not Africa. That's
true.
else.
I guess like
if you're
we
Asian,
do tend
right?
to
We don't say,
generalize,
we
and
sometimes say
shouldn't.
South Asia, we sometimes say Eastern Asia, but like we tend to generalize by these like big pocket groups. And I think that hurts nuance overall. It's just the easiest to do it for white people because we generally say, oh, white people don't have culture, white people don't understand.
America is seen as like an exception where if you come here, if you're of descent from a different nation, you're essentially letting go of that national identity to become American.
It's the
And
whole
that's
point
seen as
of
an
the-
exception to the rule. So
I
feel like that's
true for everybody, though. I feel
It's
like
not
that's
true for everybody,
true
but
for
that's the
certain racial
assumption that
groups
we
and not
used to
others.
have, you know?
As the in-house person of color here, as a Slavic person,
Yes.
I'm offended on your behalf, guys. I'm offended on your behalf. All these stories prove, in the end, is that Hollywood only knows how to make surface level changes that never make it past skin deep.
Do you remember like when vitiligo became like a minority
With
point?
Winnie Harlow and stuff.
Yeah, like, okay, there's a difference. There's a genetic difference between someone who has vitiligo and someone who doesn't. There's a genetic difference between a blonde and a brunette. Why is one thing seen as like getting woke points, but the other is not?
It's depending on what
Like-
they feel like during the day, just like why Asians can be considered minorities unless we're talking about college applications, in which case they're lumped in with white people and then held back.
Well, vitiligo is like a health issue, right? So it'd be the same thing as saying someone who is like a
Does it have
quadriplegic.
health implications?
It's genetic. I mean, you can be white and have vitiligo. You can be African American and have vitiligo. It's not specific.
It doesn't like diminish your quality of life, though, right?
I have no idea.
Unless you
what
come
it
from a
was.
country where you're mistreated for having it, I guess.
Sure, I guess. I mean, I don't know if there are other implications like for your health. I just know that like it's
Sure.
to me, it's not comparable to like discriminating or like lumping people by race because it's like it's more similar to saying like, oh, we need to have more models with one legs. Also,
Right.
get that vitiligo model. And Winnie Harlow
Which is
is
on the list.
well,
Doesn't-
and Winnie Harlow, who is a supermodel, like became a big deal, right? They're like, she is so bold and beautiful for not trying to even out her skin tone, which, you know, she is a very, very striking case of vitiligo. Cool for her, doing whatever she wants to do, pursuing her career. I just think that it's weird that we're like, oh, cool. If we have someone like this that fits into this box in our group, then we look like we're more tolerant when you're actually singling people out
Yeah.
because of their health implications or race.
Go search out, they go to modeling scouts and they're like, go search out somebody who has vitiligo. Search out somebody who is 180 pounds and 5'4" to walk a runway. Find an amputee, find someone in a wheelchair.
Someone from Ukraine. Like,
Yeah, find
just
someone
cover
from
all-
Ukraine. Like, it's really weird.
Yeah. It's super weird, and it's such tokenism. Like what they're saying is, if there had been two more black
people
people
are
in this photo,
okay
it
with
would've been
tokenism.
okay.
That what
It's
I've learned is that
creepy.
people are now 110% okay with tokenism
And being
They-
tokenized
They
if
don't
they
care.
are-
Like I'm
yeah.
saying, shouldn't, on the face of it, shouldn't all the changes that the diversity consultant made really just seed some some amount of doubt in the minds of anyone afterward that's been nominated? It should, but they don't care.
The BAFTAs are coping a little bit because I think they changed their background image on YouTube to a picture of Daniel Kaluuya.
They're like, "We
when
love you."
people started, tweeting about BAFTA's so white, they're trying to like repair their image now, even though Daniel Kaluuya didn't win anything this year.
Did he present?
I guess he must
he
have,
was a
but he
great
didn't.
presenter.
in
He
the
didn't
crowd.
win
They're
anything.
like,
So
"We
like,
had people of
why
color
is
there."
he your cover image on YouTube now? I also looked up like more of the BAFTA So White hashtag and saw this horrible speech from Joaquin Phoenix from 2020.
I can't watch it. I don't have it in me today. I think it's copyrighted anyways.
Well, that must have been before
It was.
George Floyd died, right?
It would be because if it were February of 2020 and he died in May.
It wouldn't matter. They were like, Hollywood's been on this train for ages, and he was riding the success of Joker at that time. So he would have used it to virtue signal. And look, when he
was
talks,
like, I feel so privileged to be here, and we just need to recognize
he doesn't
that.
talk like they don't talk like human beings when they do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like they sound like PR agencies. Deconstruct whiteness. And what was the other one? Tear down the pillars of whiteness. They don't talk
Do
like
any of
human
them-
beings.
Do any of them actually want to give these speeches? Honestly,
No,
I mean,
actually, he's a bleeding heart.
I
So
mean,
you're right. Yeah,
if
he
you
might.
won an award though, and you like are great, who do you actually really definitely want to talk about? I know there are a couple ideologues who who are bleeding hearts who really want to talk about it. But most people, they want to
But
say,
here's the thing.
thank you to my mom,
Yeah.
thank you to my wife, thank you to whoever, I'm leaving now,
If
right?
he is-
But they feel like they become more successful if they make these weird political, culturally acceptable points. And I think
Yeah.
that is one of the reasons that we should just do away with award show. And I'll start by saying no one can give a speech, right? Just give them the awards and shift them off stage. Like, cut that out and see if people want to watch the show.
Or if these celebrities want to go anymore now that their opportunity to preach has been taken away from them.
Every single one of them has a Twitter
They'll
platform.
just
Make a
wear-
long thread,
Yeah.
film a video, do it there.
Yeah.
Don't do it during the award shows and see if people will come back to see who won. I think that would help.
Like in any other industry, you would not benefit from like your first instinct after something good happening to you based on an earned success.
Whew, that one got me. Sorry.
Your first instinct being to self-flagellate and apologize.
It's humble bragging.
That is not something that's normalized in other industries.
And it's pedantic. They're looking down on people. They're saying, like, I am so aware of what I have in my privilege and how great I am.
Yeah, it's
Like,
humble
it's not
bragging.
genuine. Nothing he's
saying,
doing is changing the way he lives his life.
look, it's the type of thing that happens when he says that on the cusp of victory, right? So he's now gotten his award. Now he can virtue signal about this, and that would be one thing if I didn't hate the fact that none of them talk like human beings when they do it. I can buy that Joaquin Phoenix is a bleeding heart liberal, if not leftist, and I can
Totally.
listen to what he has to say and be okay with it if he actually talks to me like a person,
Well,
and he
it's
doesn't
all
just start
about-
spewing 5,000 buzzwords where 9 of the next 15 words are all something that came out of a Robin DiAngelo book. I don't want to hear it in that context. I want to know what you think about it. If you believe that, if those are your wholehearted beliefs, you should be able to phrase it in a way that sounds like a human being said it, not like it was written by a textbook by some self-hating lady who's grifting. Like, I have no problem. I don't agree with the message, but I would be more inclined to listen to your garbage if you actually said the garbage in your own words. But they're not.
It's bereft of actual compassion, which is why it doesn't resonate.
Yeah.
Same thing with Me Too. It was like supposed to be this bleeding heart cause for victims of sexual harassment and people who are like legitimately victimized, which was an actual problem disproportionately affecting people in the entertainment industry. And it turned into something anyone with legitimate or illegitimate claims could use to like as a weapon.
Yeah. Well,
And that it lacked actual compassion, which is why it lost steam so quickly. It just doesn't actually make anyone feel anything genuine.
here's the thing. Jacob Edler says they don't believe anything they say. It's all for attention. I believe that. Here's the problem. Why is it that whenever they go off on these race-based or gender-based tirades, it always sounds like they're reading from a script, right? I don't believe that they believe anything that they say, but for some reason they can fake it better
I think-
with other things.
I
but
mean,
is it because those
conservatives
are
fake
Yeah,
their foundational values all the time.
all the time?
Well, I think with anyone in
Absolutely.
these positions, right? You
Yeah.
put the media statement out there, you have a quote, it gets circulated. Joaquin Phoenix said these things, and then if he's ever accused of anything, it could be like, not Joaquin Phoenix. He said he recognizes his privilege. Like, you can't accuse him of not being aware. He
Yeah.
already. It's just. I think it's all an
that doesn't matter.
opportunity.
They come for them anyways. I mean, they haven't realized
They
that.
will at times, but I do think it comes up where it's like, oh, well, he's tried to acknowledge whatever. Like, it just depends on if the media likes you that day or not. It doesn't protect you completely, but it's an opportunity to sort of build a defense, right? It's a way to say like, oh, well, I mentioned how bad it was for the environment in this one speech. So when I took a private plane, they still got to say like, well, he does talk about his concerns about the environment. That's what they do to Leonardo DiCaprio, right?
The fact that they read it like they're coming from a script, that's what disgusts me more than anything. What they say disgusts me. The fact that they can't even fake it well disgusts me more somehow. Like something about the fact that they seem so insincere is more disgusting to me than the fact that what they're saying is already a point.
Well, especially with the white celebrities that lash themselves
so
and
fake.
everything. It's like, not only am I going to like sit in my own filth, but you also have to like walk through and watch me do it. Like, you have to watch me like bathe in my own shit and clap as well.
Arf,
you know, Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.